The sins of the flesh. So long as any of the following traits are left in his nature, man has no right to seek first-hand knowledge on spiritual subjects. This does not mean that he should not study, but he must keep away from occult activities that will work upon his superphysical nature and organisms. All of these vices build and strengthen the power of the dweller. Excitement, egotism, greed, hate, dishonesty, sulkiness, anger, fear, selfishness, argument, sorrow, lust, attachment, demands, passion, lying, emotionalism, contention, dislikes, pride. All students are subject to these failings. That is to be expected, and there is no special disgrace in having them, for only the gods are without fault. Perhaps even they err sometimes, but until these problems have been honestly faced and worked out, no one has the cosmic right to dabble in those things which lie beyond the veil that divides this world from the invisible. These are responsibilities we must meet and tests we must face, and our usefulness depends upon how we meet to master them, for every one of these faults makes us useless to the great ones who so greatly need help from the world of men. What kind of universe would we live in if our gods were subject to the failings listed above? If the sun was subject to fits of anger, or if the masters ran things according to their own egotistic fancies, what would happen to us? If we aspire to a position of trust, we too must be passionless, patient and kind, as the gods themselves. No one ever reached the state of mastership other than by passing the guardian of his lover nature and transmuting into creative powers the sins which give the dweller his power. The 3 steps. There are 3 distinct steps in the attainment of wisdom, and all growth must take place in accordance with these steps. If man really desires the boon of wisdom, he must be willing to accept it as the gods have seen fit to bestow it. The student must prepare himself for the influx of wisdom. This he does through right thought, right action, and right attitude. Right thought is the open mind ready to consider all things, a humble mind willing to receive the crumbs from the feasts of the wise, a charitable mind condemning none but itself, a far-sighted mind capable of seeing good in all things and ultimate good for all things. Right action consists of proper care of the body, proper exercise, and a proper place in the great material battle of life. Man grows by contacting grown things. When he is able to contact all forms of life pleasantly, with consideration, with the heart of the helper, and with the mind of the student, he grows. Right attitude means that everything is undertaken in the spirit of love, truth, and a sincere, unselfish desire to assist in the making of a world a better place in which to live. Right attitude means cheerfulness, hopefulness, and cooperation with all that is seeking to grow. It means consideration for all, even when they disagree with us, realizing that man must not work for man, but for God, and that each has his separate account. Having prepared himself for the coming of wisdom by cleaning his body, broadening his mind, and opening his heart, he must then apply himself to the task of digesting the knowledge that comes to him. The arrangement of facts so that it will be of practical use to the world is no small task. Much that we hear from occultists is of no value in solving everyday problems. While technical knowledge is necessary to a teacher, it must be presented in a way which will serve otherwise. It might as well remain unsaid. The second step is the actual coming of wisdom itself, and this in turn prepares the way for the 3rd stage. The 3rd stage is the use of knowledge in the best and most convincing way. This is no child's play. It requires the wisdom and understanding of the gods themselves. People take the spiritual sciences too lightly. They do not realize that the enlightened ones are picked from the very cream of the earth. The brightest minds and the most beautiful souls and the greatest successes are those which are chosen to serve with the band of spiritual ones. Modern occultism is filled with failures who are never of any value to themselves or to anyone else. If these scatterbrains think for a moment they are going to be lifted up in a few short months or years, they are very much mistaken. The masters use only the worthy ones. What are we, and what can we do that make us worthy to ask for spiritual consideration in the employment of office of God? What are our references? What recommendations do we bring from our last employer, our friends, our world? The following case illustrates what the guardian of the threshold means. Mrs. X, an elderly lady, is such a gossip that she is without friend on earth. No one dares to speak in her presence. She has been married twice, but both homes have been broken up. She blames others, but all that know her realize that she is the one responsible. She has an ungodly temper, a sour disposition, and a body filled with acidity due to improper food combinations. She spends most of her time regretting unfortunate conditions of years ago, feeling that this world is against her. She will not believe that she is selfish, and she spends all her time telling what she knows. She expects everyone to agree with her, and calls them fools when they do not. One minute she wants to embrace, and the next she wants to kill those near her. She prays and meditates daily, and asks for spiritual enlightenment, She sees visions and believes that the creations of her mind are true, which is quite impossible. She is just one of countless thousands who expect illumination as their brightest and spirituality as a legacy. They do not realize that the masters must have people who can do things. This lady could not earn $5 a week in the material world, for she is enough to God for him to send one of his masters to teach her things she will not understand. Those who want illumination are many, but very few are willing to bend their wills to that of nature and work hard enough to change their lives and produce something useful. The analysis of this lady shows that she has the following faults. 1. She is an incurable egotist. 2. She is a pessimist. 3. She has a violent temper which poisons her blood. 4. She is selfish. 5. She is emotional, which is a criminal waste of energy. 6. She has neglected her body. God does not dwell in a temple that is not kept clean, free of disease. These 6 faults comprise the dweller on her threshold. They stand between her and all beautiful things that she wants to be. God will not remove these things from her, but will give her the things that she longs for when she proves her worth by mastering her own nature and awakening to her mistakes. God makes a pact with man. If man will prepare the temple of his own life, the Father will take up his dwelling in it and be the light of that temple. Let us ask nothing of God until we have done our part. Let us not try to gain spirituality until we have built our tabernacle according to the law given to the children in the days when the earth was young.